problem, this issue. So, yeah. Apparently, now, I'm just saying, if a line did not think it was safe or completely safe, then he wouldn't have let me lift. He would have said, I would prefer you not to drive. You know. So, but, you know, he did come out here. He checked it right before we left. And that's when he told me that it sounded and felt like it might have some type of vacuum leak. So, tomorrow, he is going to take it to work and do some tests on it. He's going to do like a vacuum leak test as well as some other things and see if he can find out what the problem is and why it's doing this. Because if it sits, like if you crank it and it sits for a minute, it starts shaking, shuddering, whatever you want to call it. And after I pulled out of the house and started driving a little bit, like I had like no power. Like I was pushing it, I was gassing it, but it's like I didn't have a lot of power. It took it a minute to where I could get power to actually go. I almost turned around, but once I got my power back, I was like, okay. So it's things like this that makes me wish I lived closer to the church and we didn't live way out in the country, because the majority of people that I go to church with, they live right there by the church, or they live on the other side of the church, like, you know, the other direction. And so I'm about the only one that lives this direction, and we're way out here, so like people would have to drive, you know, probably about an hour just to come get us, and then drive, you know, the 30 to 45 minutes to the church, and then 30 to 45 minutes back, and then drive like an hour home. So that's a lot, and I really don't want to ask nobody that to do that. So, and the we do have a church bus, but it doesn't come out this far. So, yeah. So that's kind of not really an option either. There is a choo-choo train. So yes, I wish I lived a little bit closer, but, you know, as of right now, the Lord wants us exactly where we're at, and that's where we're going to stay. If we were to ever move, then he would have to be the ones that would open up the doors and just, you know, let it happen. So yes. So the truck's acting a little bit funny, but as of right now, it's okay. I have already prayed and pleaded the blood over this vehicle. I did. And so I have faith that everything's going to be okay, that we're going to get to church and be able to come back home and nothing's going to happen. And then Alon's going to be able to take it to his work in the morning and be able to come back home and nothing bad happen. And when I say bad, not that like something would happen, like we would end up having a wreck. No, when I say stuff like that, I mean like we just like it just stops working. We have to sit on the side of the road for several hours. So yes. So, and I was supposed to go to my mom's tomorrow to look at some stuff. Aline went to my mom's yesterday and was looking at some stuff, and he came home and was talking to me about it, and I told him that I wasn't exactly sure. And so I was texting my mom. She ended up calling me, and she was like, I'm not sure either, but we need to be looking into this. So what it is that Aline is looking for something that used to be at my mom's, and he was going to look for it, and he couldn't find it yesterday. And so, what is that? Oh, that's a couch on somewhere. Okay. So, anyhow, I told Aline that we were going to have to go for it. If I can't find it, my plan was that if we couldn't find it at the house, I would go over to my mom's tomorrow and look for it and see if we could find it. But looks like I might not be able to do that, so I'm just gonna have to let my mom know that I won't be able to go over there tomorrow, and so she will just have to FaceTime me or send me videos or pictures or something. That way we can see if we can find this together. Because if not, I have to make a not so great phone call. And it's not going to be a very good one. And I'm going to have, if I have to make that phone call, I'm going to have to do a lot of praying and soul searching. A lot of praying, a lot of soul searching before I make that phone call. Because if I don't, I'm going to end up losing my temper, and I'm probably going to end up saying some things that I should not, that I probably shouldn't say, or say things in a way I shouldn't. And I'm going to end up getting really mad and just losing my cool. And right now, because of everything that's been going on, the last thing I need to do is lose my temper, especially with this particular person. So, especially if we can't find it, and we find out that this person took this item. If they did take this item, then I'm going to have to try to remain very calm, very cool, collected, because if not, it just won't be it's not going to be a good thing all the way around. So yeah, whenever we get home, me and Line's going to do that. Also, it is just now a few minutes after 9. We actually left a little bit early. Yay! And so hopefully nothing happens between now and in between here and the church building. So I lost my train of thought there. So sorry. So yeah, as long as nothing happens to the truck, then whenever I get home and I get changed, get changed and we eat lunch, then me and Elaine will go look for that and see if we can find it. Now, if something, of course, does happen with the truck, then depending on when it happens, if it happens before we get to the actual church, then we won't be able to. We'll just have to call AAA and have them come tow us. Oh, there's a plane. He's low. He's over there. Look out your window. You should be able to see him in a little bit. Okay, there you go.
He's a big one.
Yeah. So I will either have to have it. Most likely, I'll just have to have it towed to the house because I don't know. Because since my mom's out of town, she won't be able to come pick us up and drive us home. And last time I called AAA, they said that we couldn't ride in the truck because it only fits 3 people or so. I don't know. I have no idea. If it happens on the way home, then we'll have to sit several hours and wait for AAA. Either way, we're going to have to wait hours for AAA. So that's why I'm hoping that we don't have to worry about that. The truck will be fine. I have faith that the truck will be fine. And we will make it home, and Elaine will make it to work tomorrow and make it home and figure out what's wrong and all of that lovely, lovely, lovely stuff. So anyhow, we're actually getting into town. So I'm going to get off of here so I can pay a little bit closer attention because I'm getting into a lot of traffic. And I just need to be paying a little bit closer attention because of all the traffic. So, and also, a couple of other reasons. So, with that being said, we were off, and we will talk to you guys next time.